Hello people, this is Power here with a review of the Ultraman Rube DX Rube Gyro. This is the main transmission device that both I forgot their last names. Just basically both of the brothers used to transform to Rosso and Blue respectively. Obviously the Rube Gyro is included along with the Taro crystal and the Ginga crystal. On this side is Ultraman Rosso. This side Ultraman Blue. Up here just has more of them, and then as you can see here, Ultraman Rosso Aqua and Ultraman Blue Flame. Just more product information, and then the back just shows all the functions. So form changes, finishers, and more crystals. Requires 3 AAA batteries. So let's get into this. So here's the Rube Gyro, and obviously the contents it comes with. It does not come with fusion cards. Because I know the G-Riser came with a Ultra Fusion Fight card. This one does not. It came with a promotion for the Ultra Hero Festival. Obviously, that was only the first release. This is a much later release. I want to say the 4th release, so it doesn't come with that. We'll look at the Rube Crystals first, because those are our gimmicks of this year for Ultraman. So it comes with 2. Obviously for Ultraman, it normally comes with 4 of the gimmick, but you will understand why it only comes with 2. So here's Taro. Basically the Rube crystals are... I don't know how to explain them, because I don't want to say they're O metals, because I don't have O metals. And plus, I think they're smaller than that. But basically, they're just coin-shaped items that have the Ultraman at the front. And as you can see, Taro is just standing there with the volcanic background, with the kanji here for flame or fire. I don't remember. And as you can see from this text, you might think it's just gibberish, but it's actually I forgot what language it was, but it's the language they made up, so it actually reads Ultraman Taro and such. So when we flip on the back, as you can see, there's the associated color of the Ultraman with these horns. And as you can see from the back of these crystals, they have pegs. Because obviously for the past 4 years, because Ginga S, X, and 5 years I meant, Ultraman's gimmicks have been, I will say, advanced, and they've always been chipped based. So I don't know what technology Ginga through X used, but they used like chips of some sort, and then Orb and G use NFC chips, but these do not use chips anymore. They're literally like whatever, and ghost icons from the pins. So, but I will say it's a different way of using, or it's just a different arrangement, but it's basically the same way. Anyways, so let me zoom out a bit. So basically the gimmick of these crystals is that you flip these horns out, because there's 4 ways of arranging these. Obviously the first way is without the horns. The second way is releasing these 2, which represents Rosso, because Rosso has 2 of them, as you can see. Then you just simply peg those back in, and then if you flip this middle one, this one represents Blue due to him having a singular horn. And then this is how they come in packaged, and this one is just all of them flipped. Obviously, the reason why they're packaged like this is because of the spring. And as you can see from the back, now it has all the info. So this one is B012. And just to flip it, again, and these peg in by, do I have a, they peg in from these pegs, so they just clip, or not clip, they just click in like so. Anyways, I did not mean that to be lengthy, but looking at Ginga, this is Blue's main group crystal, and as you can see, the kanji there for water. I'm just gonna know. I'm not gonna know all the kanji of these crystals because obviously I don't know Japanese. And obviously the lettering here says Ultraman Ginga, and you can see Ginga in a water-esque, not esque, just a water-based background, which is pretty neat. Even though there's technically no relation to Ginga and water, but it's probably just because he's blue. Now, see, you can see his pins, and obviously the blue formation, because that's the main formation he goes to first. The Rosso formation, and then all of them out. Then he is B014. So that's basically it for the crystals you get out of this. So let's look at the Rube Gyro. So here's the Rube Gyro, and it's a pretty interesting device because I want to say most Ultraman devices recently have been reasonable sizes. Technically the largest one we've gotten was the Orb Ring, where that one's probably the tallest, but like, you know, as you can tell, this one's like really, I guess, lengthy, like in width, but obviously it's kind of ridiculous to hold something like this with you because obviously things like the Ginga Spark and Victory Lance, like those made sense, and then the X Divisor, that made sense because that was technically based off of the Gyro team. I don't remember what their X Divisors are called. Maybe they're just called Divisors. And obviously Orb Ring was just tall, and the G Divisor was just half it. Now this thing, I actually like the design because there's like obvious handles and such, and I like how toyetic the design is because it's just, it brings in pretty neat things. And as you can see from the handle, this is red here and blue down here, and the handles on both sides are red. And then this, there's blue up here and red down here. I don't know what specifically it specifies because Katsumi holds it here and Isami holds it here. So because I thought at first this represented where the brothers hold it, but it doesn't. It's the opposite. So yeah. But overall, I really like the base color. It's pretty interesting. And then opposite the front, you get the gold diamond, silver paint, and then this black panel, or two black panels. And as you can see here, this is where you're going to slot in the Rube crystals, and as you can see here, this is where you're going to peg, or this is, I don't know what I'm saying. These are basically the pegs that the crystals are going to click or press. And then this is the LED for something later. And as you can see, it has a silhouette of Ultraman in it already. Now, as you can see here, mine's already scuffed, but that's because when you actually open this, the way to open this is you just press it here, and then it reveals the star map or at least I think that's what it is. But obviously, when you pull it, it just spins, because basically the way you pull it is like that. But basically, I guess I should just note this, but these are removable, and because the instructions mention it, but if you know, if you just suddenly drop it like me and have it fall on your foot and bruise your toe for like a week, then you're gonna be concerned. But basically, that's basically it. Back there is not really much. The on and off switches here. This is where you're gonna insert the batteries and the speakers up here, which I guess is an alright spot, but yeah. So anyways, let's turn it on. That's a really bright light, so it's actually really blinding to look at directly. So yeah, it won't do anything by itself, so obviously we need a root crystal to start things off. We're going to start with Rosso Flame, so we're going to again just flick these two horns out and insert it into here. Obviously there's two spaces here, so then basically the way you're supposed to insert crystals is that there's two tabs on the top and bottom. You just hold them like so, and then click the crystal in until both panels are out. So like so. So then you pull this 3 times. So as you can see, that's the transmission for Ultraman Rosso Flame. Basically, how it starts is that you insert the crystal, it will announce the Ultraman, and it will technically play the sound of the element the Ultraman is, and then it will pulsate until you pull the handles 3 times, and then the transmission will play. And I really like the LEDs. Obviously, this is not spinning a lot when I was doing it, but the LEDs are really neat because there's technically 3 sets of LEDs, one at the top, one at the bottom, and one in the middle. So basically, the one at the top represents the Ultraman, or the crystal. The one at the bottom represents whether or not it's Rosso or blue, and then the one in the middle just is technically the crystal color. So yeah. So after that, if you pull it another 3 times, you get the finisher. A new standby. So then you get Rosso's finisher in this form. The flame spear shoot. Yeah, I'm not gonna try to like say the forms because I'm gonna butcher it. Anyways, so obviously to take the crystal out, you just hold the tabs and you pull it out, and you close it again. So we're gonna transform into Ultraman Blue Flame. So obviously you just flip this horn up and just insert it again. So as you can see down here, it's blue now. Again, 3 pulls. So as you can tell, the colors are actually different and obviously the sounds, but basically I really like the color mixing in this because basically it mixes the two top colors and just, you know, red, blue makes purple. Red and red makes it's technically red and white mixing, and obviously we're gonna see what Ginga does later, but obviously he has another finisher. So that was the Flame Eclipse. Again, I don't look at the Ultra Wiki a lot. So that's basically it for the Taro Crystal. So let's look into the Ginga Crystal. So we're going to start with blue here, because again that's his main one. As you can see, it's all blue now. So that combination is actually I believe a blue and white mix. So, again, the finisher. So the finisher for that one's the Aqua Stream. I don't know, I can just understand blue's finishers more than Rosso's, but anyways, speaking of Rosso, we're gonna change to Rosso Aqua. Finisher. So that's the splash ball. So that's basically it for what you get out of the box. Just quickly before I go over my thoughts. Basically how this works is that this middle button, basically along with getting these pins pressed, this middle button gets pressed or not, because if it's pressed, then it goes into Rosso. If it's not pressed, it automatically makes it blue. So technically, when this back button is still present on here, it will read as Rosso. If it's not present, then it will be present as blue. So technically, if I insert it like this, it will still read it as if I had it like this. And then if I insert it like this, it will read it as if I inserted it like this. So overall, what I think of the Rube Gyro is that it's actually a pretty nice toy. Again, I really like the size of it. While I'll say it's not as playable as our previous Ultraman changers, I guess you call them. Because obviously, the Orb Ring, that came with 4 cards. And each pair did a fusion. But each of them also had individual sounds. Obviously, these two do not have individual sounds. They're strictly Rosso and Blue, which I kind of think, like, that kind of sucks. Because obviously, as we're going to talk about later, I think they could have done it but they didn't. These are just strictly Form 1, so you can't get individual sounds of them. And obviously, I can see people complaining that like this does not come with any more crystals, but I can't really complain about that because technically each crystal has 2 modes, a Rosso and Blue mode. So I can't really complain about that. But out of the box, it's actually a pretty decent toy. The thing, like, the strongest point about this toy is just, I think, the aesthetic and just the lights. The lights are amazing. I guess I just had to say beware of, if you're trying to poke at the pins, beware at the light, because honestly the light in this toy is really bright and it actually kind of hurts. So I guess like just use common sense and just don't stare at it directly. But the light show here is beautiful. Just this light is pretty blinding. But yeah. That's basically all I have to say about this toy. It's not as functional as our previous ones, but it's something new. That's all I have to say. Cause obviously, it's strictly like dealing with pins and such, not like any advanced technology. So, I'm being really optimistic about it. So that's all I have to say, cause really don't know what else to say. Anyways, so this is PowerRider, and I'll leave you people. Bye.